In a world where dragons and warriors rise to defend the souls of humanity, one battle will determine the fate of the future. A queen, consumed by darkness, stands against a chosen warrior seeking justice. Wings unfurl, talons clash, and the fight begins. He must defeat the queen, reclaim his destiny, and uncover the hidden truths that will change everything. Welcome to Pursuing the Ghost. There was a loud screech echoing from the mountain. A swirling form flew high into the sky and streaked toward Patterdale. Her plan died today. She did not expect to be cast out so ruthlessly. I called to the disciples who were already coming toward me. As we stepped outside, we stood lined up, ready to fight. Morph, for it is time. It is our time. Each dragon morph transformed from human to dragon, creating an immense line of color trained for just this moment. Standing for the good and moral souls of this world, the forces assembled, ready to police this evil from their world, or die trying. It was a roar of wings, snarls, and screeches as they waited for the command to attack. I prepped for flight, wings outstretched, leg muscles tense. I leaped into the air, ready to release the wrath of the Creator upon this queen. The group, as one warrior, became airborne, following me into battle. The queen twisted midair. Below us, people across the valley rushed out into the darkness, armed with cannons, old artillery guns, and long siege-level spears. Volleys of lead and sharpened projectiles filled the air. I feared only that Yain and Garth might be fighting, but I did not see them. If this was all she had at her disposal, I doubted it would be enough. I ordered Thatch to morph into wolf form and control the ground. Remember, these people are under the Queen's power. She's had years to convert them, and they've had years to prepare. Watch for anything. Try not to kill them, just destroy their equipment. Then I headed straight for the Queen. It was my kill that would end this. Apollo had climbed high into the sky, preparing for a speed attack. His claws extended, he flew down faster than the speed of sound, a silent killer with his eyes locked on the target. The Queen bellowed flames, and I pulled back. Luke timed his attack with Apollo's. As they struck, the sky filled with swirling flight. She shot upward. A boom echoed near me as I saw Apollo crash hard against the ground, only for Luke to rise again just as swiftly. The Dragon King and Drogon swooped low, targeting the humans. They crashed into a large contingent, toppling a siege spear. The mechanism clicked, and the spears soared into the sky. I swept left as some narrowly passed by me. But where was she? Scanning the sky, I saw Luke flying randomly, but the sky was too empty. Then I looked down and saw it, a red flash, large, quick, and wild. She darted for Thatch and Drogon, slashing at them. Both dodged her attack and escaped as she rampaged. The ground attack was regenerating, more people coming with weapons of all kinds. While barking out orders, I shouted, "Apollo, fly high and keep your eye on the Dragon Queen. Luke, on me, it's time. Be prepared, she'll reappear near us soon, I'm sure. Everyone else, continue the attack and push her to her limits." The Queen reappeared to my left, spearing me in the side and knocking me to the earth. I shot up, ignoring the pain, and morphed into my wolf form. Luke hit the ground hard, creating a large cloud of snow in front of me. At the last moment, just before she was in range to use her fiery breath, Apollo speared her with his body, claws digging deep as he flipped her over. Claws first, I morphed back and caught her by the tail, hurling her high into the air. Apollo rushed toward her, his claws set to inflict maximum damage and pain. He scraped her sides and back, tearing off her scaled armor, leaving bleeding red streaks. The Queen retaliated, scorching his tail and underbelly. He began to lose altitude when Drogon and Thatch converged from opposite sides, ready to strike. But she vanished, and they nearly collided, missing each other by mere inches. I soared high above her. She flexed in fright as the group relentlessly attacked. Yain and Garth were still absent, and the humans had been dismantled by Draco, who stood atop a damaged cannon, watching the Queen. I communicated to her, "Surrender or die." The Queen turned and fled, leading me on a chase around the mountain. She flew fast, but I was faster. She twisted through hills and valleys, but I stayed on her tail. so close she could see the depth of my eyes if she looked back. Drawing in her wings, she careened into the mountain. No, it was a cave. I followed her, letting the tight walls close in around me as her back came into sight. Breathing in, I held for clarity, my breath a testament to my resolve. What I sought at the end of the tunnel was my life beyond, nestled with the intent of reclaiming it from the clutches of evil. That was what I sought. Coming into a clearing, the walls rose around us in rugged, dark slate hues. Rock pillars loomed between us, sectored off like sentinels. A bright light shone down on the center of the clearing where 2 human bodies lay. The queen circled them like a predator. I landed on my 2 feet, throwing my wings out wide, growling hard at her. She laughed as if mocking me. "One more step and I'll kill her," she taunted. This was what she had come down to, patronizing me with a display of false strength. No, this was not strength, just desperation. No more. She lifted one of the bodies and my heart sank. "How?" I asked. "Duncan, is that his name?" Her eyes floated over him, but she dismissed him as if he were nothing. His eyes were closed, his body damaged and drenched in blood. She dropped him unceremoniously onto the ground. "Little chosen one, you think you can beat me? I am the one and only thing this world needs, not you. With this, I will solidify my place and destroy yours. Your time ends here, and so does his." She thrust Duncan's body to the ground, the snap of bones echoing through my mind like a final judgment. Her claws hovered over Azazel's head. "Enough!" I snarled. "Queen!" My body heaved as heat surged through me. A thin blast of fire escaped my mouth, striking her in the face. She was thrown back, fire seeping from her scorched skin. Unsteady on her feet, she wavered. I lunged. In seconds, I hit her. She slipped left, but I dragged her under, throwing my weight onto her. I had the advantage now. "Queen, just give up," I demanded. "Never," she rasped, barely able to get the words out. It was her destiny to fight until her last breath, and her next words reflected that. "Death if you can, brother." I reached for her neck, biting down viciously, her head severed from her body. I drew back, dropping what remained of her. I stood there watching her, but my thoughts were elsewhere. Azazel. Was she okay? Slowly, I moved toward her and nudged her with my hand. No motion. I settled on carrying her out of the cave along with Duncan's mangled body. The countryside was on fire when the group came to meet me. I looked from dragon to dragon and gave my order: return to the farm and put out the fires. Find Jessica. Be aware. There may still be followers under her spell, lurking in the shadows. It was a somber feeling back at the farm. Jessica told me that a large number of men had come, trying to take them. Duncan stood his ground so she could run. Whether it was Garth, we couldn't be sure, but he wasn't at the battle. At this point, I wasn't sure if he was friend or foe. Without the Queen, he had little desire to commit evil in her name. He would probably disappear into society, living out his life peacefully if he could. At least, that was what I hoped. I was done with all these battles. If not for you, the Queen may have had more time to prepare for us. She may have taken this fight worldwide. Many lives were saved today because of you, Jessica. Thank you. That was all I could say when I saw her. After learning of Duncan's death, the pain on her face was something I would never understand. So I retreated to my own cave, knowing I could never ease it. Azazel was alive, thanks to Thatch, who had tended to her wounds. Luke had gathered the herbs she needed, working earnestly. Jessica gave her the most attention, and I respected that. She didn't hate us, though I wouldn't have been surprised if she did. Still, she represented herself well, doing her best now. But it was strange when she called on me specifically. We sat in the kitchen, tea in hand. All I could give her was a line, but as I did, I noticed something in her eyes. Jessica reached for me and said, "I am so proud of you, my son. You're all I have now." I stared at her for a moment, letting her words sink in. "Your son?" "Yes, son. The Queen was your..." "My what?" She paused, about to speak, but then my head began to ache as my thoughts raced. "Sister." The queen has fallen, but at what cost? This chapter of the story has come to an end, but the journey is far from over. New battles and deeper truths lie ahead. Thanks for joining us on this epic adventure. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more tales of dragons, magic, and the next thrilling part of the series. The story continues with Curse of the Queen.